therapy. Now, today I'm going to be talking about a topic where it's more of a reasoning. You see, I was watching YouTube, I recommend all kind of things, and there's this channel, very popular American channel, and I think it's called Steven Crowder or something like that. But he have a segment where him like go out on the road and put up one sign and like him that say, water, is the best thing to drink. Change my mind. You get the idea. The change my mind part, that is the real right subject we matter about. Him set up a little table, sit down with a mic, then him put a pint out there and him say, change my mind. In other words, this me believe, right, but maybe you can present a better than a reasoning. So change my mind. So this is the Jamaican version. Change my mind. And I talk to everybody, especially the political loyalists them. Change my mind. Now you're wondering, change my mind about what? Change my mind that your favorite leaders don't care about the lives of Jamaicans. Don't really care about fighting the crime and are really merely interested in going into politics, getting what them can get, and then left and gone about their business. Change my mind. What could make me say something like that? Now, if you hear like the mic make some ruffling sounds, it's because me I walk back and forth. Because these kind of topics, when I get charged up, I have to move on. Too much energy I flow through my body. Can't sit down and record, I have to move on. So if you hear some ruffling sounds, I'm moving around. People hear me say it all the time. This idea say it's either this or that. Right? Jamaicans love that. People love to say, why them not stop focus on this and focus on that? No. And that's a government work. Right? For example, people say, why them to stop talk about this and focus on this? Stop talk about Big C and focus on crime. No, it's not either or. Stop talk about crime and focus on economy. No, it's not either or. The government must do everything. The government must cover all bases. It's not either or. Jamaicans love the false dilemma. I think people who go to school, I think it's called false dichotomy. I'm not sure, but I'm really going to school. Jamaicans love that. Stop talking about this and talk about this. It's either this or no. But why mention this? Sometimes people say, look how the government go on over Big C. Or them say, look how the government go on over traffic laws. Why them not do this? They need to stop talking about this and stop talking about that. No. They're going to modify the argument. The reason why I firmly believe the Jamaican politicians, especially the one that have gone already, don't really care about the people and don't really want to fight the crime, is because by their own reasoning and words, the statement rings true. If you ask politicians, why do you have such harsh penalties for this? Them tell you say, deterrence. And if you want to bring in more people to change my mind, the comment section is there. And probably share to their favorite scholars. Maybe them can change my mind. But let me tell you say, deterrence. Why do you have such a big fine for this amount of traffic offense, or for example not wearing your mask? Why is the fine so big? Why is the punishment so severe? Let me tell you, deterrence. Remember, the police commissioner had to essentially break ranks, and do something I want to say often. A police commissioner basically in a theme, fancy, highly educated and polished way. Basically, I call it the government say, them people are a joker because the laws and even in place to fight the crime. What make him do that? If the laws are in place to fight crime, if we know say you cannot really go against the gangs unless you have the legal side to it. We know that now. That is not astrophysics. That is not biomechanical engineering. And nothing complicated. We know that. So, since the same deterrence argument they use for the Big C or they use for traffic violations, why the laws them against crime why the punishment for certain crimes so weak. If Big C make the government modify and change laws in a no time, people of Jamaica, listen to me now. Tell them to change my mind. The government already had laws that could cover natural disasters and spread of this. You didn't know that? There were laws already in the books. But guess what? Those laws were vague and not specific to the Big C. So the government quickly identified that as the law currently stands, them can't get what they want, they cannot meet the objectives in the quote-unquote fight against Big C. So what them do? Bring in new laws, and within no time, them laws they come in. Don't forget how fast them laws they come in. As the law they mentioned, next thing we say it pass. Don't forget. Same thing with traffic. There's always been traffic laws, but the government realized, you know what, them traffic laws are no longer applicable to them times. Yeah. So them modify the traffic laws. Within no time, new traffic laws come in. You get much bigger fines for this, higher fines for that, more jail time for this. They identify, say the current laws are not good enough, and then quickly change them. Make them more severe in the name of deterrence, correct? Why would the same not apply to crime and violence? Why would the deterrence argument not be used for example, catching somebody with illegal firearm? The commissioner himself said people can get fined for getting catch with illegal firearm. Maybe a 1 year or 2 year, come back a road, come kill more people. The act of illegally importing guns in Jamaica, there is the Firearms Act and there are sections under it to mention it, but it is not specific. What the police commissioner was talking about were a specific set of laws that are far more focused, right, and with greater punishment for illegally importing guns in Jamaica. That doesn't exist. It's all under the vague Firearms Act. An act so vague, even the leader of the opposition don't understand it. Mark Golding don't understand the Firearms Act. To the point where, when the pepper spray argument come out, in the jump out and say, ladies, members say you can buy pepper spray. Then he come back and say, oh, well, we need to get some kind of clarification because the law is not clear because some people are saying, so him don't know. Mark Golding, correct me if I'm mistaken, is it Mark Golding a lawyer too? Right. Let me say, correct me if I think I heard that somewhere. Right. But nevertheless, even if he's not a lawyer, as leader of opposition, him should know that. Right? But he don't know that. That's how vague the law is. Somebody who's the leader of the opposition don't even figure it out yet. Him can't even make a bold statement without have to walk it back. Because I walk him up back him statement. You can't just go get pepper spray and walk around with it. You have to get permitted and all kind of things. So, in the name of deterrence, why in nearly 6 decades them law didn't exist if your favorite leaders care about you? Political loyalists step to the front of the classroom because I always try to sell with the dream until we say the man they put on one treat and him so nice and him come around and him they hug up your pitney and kiss your pitney on him forehead and him tell you say, oh, one time I never have this and I link him and him give me this. Alright, congrats on the trinkets. And now let's get down to the serious matter. In almost 6 decades, why are we still having debates about serious, quote unquote, deterrence to crime? If the government of Jamaica can quickly identify that Big C is a threat to the nation and in no time bring out laws to address it, why would the same logic not apply to crime and violence, to gang warfare, to the madness that is taking place in Jamaica? Even though for almost 3 decades, Jamaica has been having a crisis. People that talk about Jamaica get out of hand, cut the crap. We mean get out of hand. Jamaica been did get out of hand. You are a troll. If you say Jamaica is getting out of hand, you are a troll. You're trolling. You cannot be serious. Unless you're like 15 years old. That's the only excuse. Decades now. Check the stats. 1,000 plus a year. Decades. So why would they not say, in the name of saving lives, because they care, them lawyers have to get tighten up fast because deterrence by legal. Mind them tell us that the reason why we drop big fine for you for not wearing your mask and for coming here and converging more than 10 and all them things is not because we want to tax you, it's because we care. And because we care, we put stiff penalties to deter you from doing this. Why would the same logic not apply to crime and violence? Your favorite leaders, past and present, don't care about the Jamaican people. Change my mind. Change my mind. Mr. Judge, Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Legislator, only move so fast to bring in a lawyer. Well, it's the only way, or it's one of the main ways we know people are going to think twice for them to do something. If people know that there's a severe consequence for doing this, for example, not wearing a mask, and them know say, if this happen, if them get catch without a mask, them are going to pay X amount of money, and then they won't pay the money, or go to jail or whatever, then it's going to make them put on their mask. So why man still get fined for illegal guns in 2021? By your own logic, Mr. Legislator, them laws are tough for a long time if we don't care about people. But let me go further. You know why the government of Jamaica, your favorite leaders, your favorite bigwigs, move so fast to deal with COVID? Sorry, Big C. You know why them, and what them say the new strain name, I can't even pronounce it. Like every minute made a new COVID, every minute come like, but that's what we just call it. Change the name from COVID to the strain, like every minute new strain come. But you know why they move so fast? Because COVID can affect anybody. Let me repeat. The reason why your favorite leaders move so fast during the Big C, the reason why COVID make them jump up in the House of Parliament and write law fast in the name of deterrence is because it can affect everybody. The Big C doesn't discriminate. Rich, poor, black, white. Whether you want to name Richie Blacks or you want to be Billy Joe, it can affect you. Your favorite leaders know say it can not only potentially kill them but for them family and for them friends. Them care about that. Traffic laws and everything there, them want to curb the madness on the road cause car can't lick down anybody at any given time. Them care about them thing there. But let's be honest, who crime affect? Who's really facing the brunt of crime in Jamaica? The poor and middle class. Of course, we're not saying nobody way, quote unquote upper class or wealthy, we're not saying that nobody's ever, like no wealthy person has ever been affected by crime, but usually that's big wigs taking out big wigs. Generally speaking, the majority of victims of crime are poor and middle class. Majority. Especially the poor, ghetto people. Slain every day. Politicians are not as motivated to fight crime as they are Big C because, let's face it, they're not affected. Change my mind. If crime and violence was like Big C, would just turn up at anybody's doorstep at any given time, only would I see some law write so fast. Not only would the laws be written fast, they would be so tough. The laws in Jamaica would be so tough if your favorite leaders from either the JLP or the PNP did I get for them family members struck down in the streets like wild animals, like what happened to the average Jamaican citizen. If that happened to them, only would I see some laws in Jamaica right so tough that's even Joseph Stalin would have dip on the side and said, John, you Jamaican cats go hard. That's too enough things that I say. Only would I see JLP and PNP write some laws so tough that Benito Mussolini finding grave would have said, man, these Jamaicans are extreme. You see, for years, people have been pushing the downright lie that somehow the Jamaican government can't do much because, Jamaica is part of the Commonwealth and the Queen is the head of state. Enough Jamaicans to this day feel say, right, the Queen of England have to write one law and send it to give the Prime Minister, and then him say, alright, bring this law. Your favourite leaders can write anything they want to write. A matter of fact, Jamaican politicians can choose to get rid of the Queen if they want. It's no excuse, it's a lie. It's a downright lie pushed by people who are ignorant. Right? I'm actually starting to rethink if they were agents. Because that excuse of, well, because, we can't do, that's a lie. Your favourite leaders can bring in laws. They can literally choose to become a republic and not have nobody over them technically. That's a figurehead job. The Queen of England have nothing to do with Jamaican laws. If you think the Queen of England sit down and I think about, alright, we need to bring in this new law because let me feel unique. It is the incompetence, negligence of the Jamaican Labour Party and the People's National Party why Jamaican laws look how them stay now. It's no excuse. 63 people, right? 63 MPs can come together and say, change this, and it changed. We see it with the big C. These people do not care. Change my mind. Change my mind, but change my mind with evidence. Change my mind with, then see this there. Show me, because I want the sane person, I want the rational person to present an example to me. We say, see the sir, we attack, nothing can go so, because even though, as we see it, a commissioner will come out come tell them, say, them laws are a joke. If the police commissioner will tell you, say, the laws are a joke, you don't need to listen, right? To where I look at YouTube and tell you, say, the laws are a joke. The commissioner tell them that. The person who is technically supposed to be like fighting crime and him tell you that. So what's the excuse? How much MPs sitting in the House of Parliament all these decades? We've changed Minister of National Security multiple times, Minister of Justice multiple times, Prime Ministers multiple times. Man win, lose, get back in our power. What's the excuse? You say you make tough laws for deterrence. So why are the laws against crime and violence, why is the punishment so weak? By your own logic, you don't care and you're not interested in deterring. If I deter, why the law for Big C so strict, and the law for this so strict, and the law so that's, then by not having strong laws for crime and violence, that show me say, you're not trying to deter, you don't care. Change my mind. Change my mind. I wish this was like a Stephen Crowder thing where I could sit at that table with a mic and just make it become change my mind. Don't care. People go into politics where them can get and then them left. A bunch of sweet talking nonsense, I love the poor, and me I go do this utter rubbish. You can't love poor people and watch them a dead like dog every day and do nothing about it. And if the law's not in place, you're not doing nothing about it. When I made the video about your favourite member of the opposition, Peter Bunting, the other day, and I spoke about his divine intervention. The reason I bring up that is because Jamaican leaders have this style where all when time them now no more power, them know what to do. When them in a power, them tell you say, we try and we don't even know if we go, we need divine intervention. When man left, suddenly, man know what to do. Have you ever seen the coach of a football team get sacked? And then a new coach come in, and then the old coach, they on TV, right? I say, so what you must do now is play Javi, right there, so. Then I'm going to play Busquets down there, so. Then you're going to bring in Riquelme. Brother, tap your eyes. You were the manager of the same team, and you got no results. So now, you get sacked. All of a sudden, you know how the team are win game. Why you never win the game them then? You're an expert after. You turn expert after you get sacked. You turn tactician after you get sacked. Have you ever seen a manager for a football team get sacked and Sky Sports or Fox News go put a mic in front of them and say, tell me how this team can win? You see them fire the man. Since you know how to win, you should have do it when you was the manager of the team. So all those ex-politicians who in opposition suddenly know how to fight crime is complete rubbish. They don't know nothing at all. And if Andrew Onlis and Dr. Horace Chang get voted out tomorrow morning, then We don't want to hear nothing from them neither. If Andrew Holness and Dr. Oristran get vote out tomorrow morning and the PNP go in power, we don't want to hear nothing from Dr. Oristran, because you don't do nothing neither. Since you have so much idea, you should have bring it in when you're in power. Right, one, we're going to take care of your time and package and go on where you go. This is like a woman say, you know what, I want somebody to rubber-dub me. Give me a proper rubber-dubbing. A simple Simon go over there, say my rubber-dub, him give her a back shot, side shot, front shot, cartwheel, and him boom flick 20 times, and after all of that, the woman say, you know what, I'm bored. This is a waste of my time, I'm not satisfied. And she fire Simple Simon. Him cannot manage the ride. Then she hire me now. And me now I go there with my style and Simple Simon stand up at the side of the room and watching that about, yo, my youth, get her a back shot, dog, tap a nice, my youth, and come out of the room. You had your chance. You had your chance. So come tell me about no gear that style. Like, you had your chance to gear all the style them and you could not please the woman. You get fired from the job. Get out of here. This is my time for work. Let me feel in peace. Somebody else can probably send me 2 tips, but not you, Simon. You had your chance and you blew it. But sit on one side. Anybody in opposition who was already in government and didn't bring in the laws to fight a crime and didn't realize that Jamaica don't even have a proper law in place to deal with illegal trafficking of guns and to deal with things like illegal possession of firearms and make it easier for the police that after them holding up on Sci-Fi and J-Bad, them can at least take them off of this. We don't want to hear nothing from you. Just like Simple Simon, you had your chance and you couldn't manage the work. Go away. We can't hear any other issue except crime. Peter Bunting, TVJ and CVM and Gleaner and Nationwide can put a mic in front of Peter Bunting and ask him about any issue except crime. We don't want to hear nothing from no former National Minister of Security. If you go in a power and you see the laws them, how them stay now, don't come tell me about we need the laws them when you did in a power and never bring them in. Go away. You had your chance and you blew it. We don't want to hear nothing now. New ideas, new people talk, but not you. And only in Jamaica would people even have the... See, this is why I have to walk out, you know. I have to walk out. Because in a country where people actually have standards, they may say, well, on you? Brother, you said divine intervention is the only... Why are you now saying anything to do with crime? Maybe about economy and finance, but crime? Go away. All former ministers of national security, all former ministers of justice, and all former prime ministers, if you didn't have power and you never bring in the laws and you never did this and you never did that, we know why you're nothing for you now. New ideas. Tell the same old voices. Check the crime stats. The only time Jamaica ever see a real dent in crime and disrupt criminal networks was after the Tivoli incursion. Remember, gunmen from as far as Mobile went to West Kingston to fight. After the incursion finished, them start sending for everybody, you come in, you get Olampan, you get Olampan. Crime went from 1600 the year before the incursion to 1400 the year after the incursion to 1100 afterwards. So from 1600 the year before to 1100 the year after. The JLP lost the election, I think it was December the 29th, 2011. It's fair to say, no government can go in power and do nothing in 2 days. So that entire year belonged to the JLP, right? So the 1100 drop from 1600 the year before to 1100 the year after, technically, right, would be credited to the JLP. So the government changed. Crime basically leveled out from 1100 to 11 this, and then it got to 1200. A matter of fact, there was 1 year where Jamaica hit 1005. Remember that. 1005. In 2013, crime was 1200 a year. We're not give the exact precise figures. Just what I remember, I know it was 1200. 2014, it dropped. Sorry, murders was 1,200. The following year, 2014, it dropped to 1,005. That number stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head because it's the closest we've ever got to under 1,000. Remember, criminal networks were still disrupted, man up on the run. People as they see it, 1,200 to 1,005. Them know them I do. Them figure it out. Guess what crime was the year after that? Guess what the next year was? 1,200 again. From 1,200 to 1,005 to 1,200 again. You know why? That 1,005 was a fluke. It was not because of no strategy. Repeat it. Any scientist will tell you, people who know them I do can repeat it. If you give a chef a bag of rice and piece of chicken and some seasoning and say cook, and him cook a good meal, the true test is when they say, alright, see a next bag of rice here, see one next some chicken here, so one next season here, cook again. If he can't cook again, it's a fluke. You don't know him I do. He was never in control. Lucky him get lucky. Why they couldn't repeat it? Because there was never no strategy from the government. Slowly but surely, criminals start get Lego after the big scrape where they go on. Man start come back into the place. Yes, the crime in Jamaica can spike because, let's say for example, Sci-Fi and J-Bad fly out, so murders drop little. Uncle Sam will on Sci-Fi and J-Bad and deport them back to Jamaica. Go them back on Jamaican style, start shoot again, and crime gone up again. When them actually have real strategy, you can see crime consistently trend downwards. Then can hold on pan man, Lego man, hold on pan man, Lego man. No crime fighting now go on until the foundation is solid. Until the laws are put in place, police can do all them want. The police can lock up everybody in Jamaica. I have to let them go. The foundation have to do it. And your favorite leaders them go in a power, take what them to take. Never put the foundation in place and no one come tell you about crime fighting. When the United States government identified that the mafia was too powerful. Remember, even Uncle Sam used to struggle with crime at a national level. Cosa Nostra used to be so prominent in America. Even big politicians afraid of them. When Uncle Sam said this is too far, Cosa Nostra too big, too powerful, then bring in laws. They already had laws. They think they never have murder laws. They think they never have little anti-gang laws. But they identified that it's not good enough. We need more. Uncle Sam bringing all kind of things, RICO laws. Dismantle the mafia, force them underground. Why Uncle Sam never say, well, we have laws already for murder, it's already legal for murder, so worry about that for. No, they identified it's not good enough and them step it up a notch. Why your leaders don't do that? See, people say, oh sir, you forgot politics. I mean, I love it here. You don't want me nowhere near your favorite house of parliament. See, you have to understand, Jamaican people get leaders them deserve. Weak people get weak leaders. Indecisive people get indecisive leaders. People like me are dinosaurs. Type of leaders I like, if I was to tell you the type of leaders I like whether past or present, you'd be surprised. I am not. I can assure you, the way I look at leadership and what I demand from a leader is nothing like what you look for. I tell you some little feel-good nonsense. You're the best in the world, and I love everybody. Oh, bring that child come. Kiss on the forehead. Vote for me. I love the poor. Them food is down to love. We don't want a real policies. If Jamaica ever see a real strong leader, we vote him out the next day. So all people are talking about, we need strong leaders and we need a real. Cut the crap. You get what you deserve and you get what you want. I'm telling you, if it was me, if it was up to me, the idea that every prisoner must be treated the same is ridiculous to me. You cannot tell me that the way we must deal with a sci-fi is the way we must deal with the youth was a regular citizen, but my man getting in an argument and him thump the man or him gonna take up one knife and eat at the moment and stab the man and go to jail. Are two different type of criminals we are talking about this. So. One of them man they can be reformed, one of them man they can be rehabilitated and go back in the society and live a normal life. One of them man they, him family and friends them have to go pay for him food. Sci-Fi and J-Bad and bigger crime, then family and friends and then kerosene and then people, but them have to go pay for them food in the jail house if they're not there. If they didn't make the taxpayer pay for them man there. Your favorite politicians who get catch, if they ever go to jail, even though that's very unlikely. And then family who enjoy them riches, have to pay for their meal in a jailhouse. All man must rob taxpayer and then taxpayer feed them. Complete madness. All man must hold on woman and force themselves on her, and the woman then go work the next day. And then a cut her income, help go feed back, man. See this charged up thing, eh? Even though the year I done, come like I know the battery can run out, still charged up. Anyway, Patreon squad big up himself. PIA, you don't know, more life. Ultra squad, stay circling. Bless.